Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Friday. Happy Halloween. No, I'm not dressed up. Didn't prepare for that. But it is the last day of October. Are we going to see some greens today? Are we ending flat? Let's talk about it. We have a lot of good news today. A lot of good news. Let's talk about it. And a lot of good news about Clash as well. So let's talk about that too. All right, let's do this, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting our day slightly below 110,000. Not really a great place, but it is green today. And many alts are also green today. And we may see some movement due to a couple of things that are happening today. A lot of things happening today. All right, let's see. First things first, the US market is looking like it wants to go green. Yesterday, it did turn red, pretty red, at least for tech. I think Dow ended in green, but NASDAQ was red. But you can see NASDAQ is coming up today, helped by a few things. Number one, Coinbase had an earnings report yesterday. And they beat expectations. They did very, very well. Way better than expectations. So they should be flying today. Well, now it doesn't show up. But yeah, they were flying in the aftermarket. And in pre-market, it's like up 4% or something. And then also, MicroStrategy, they reported. And they had a really good earnings too. So despite all the bearishness, the crypto companies, actually the two biggest ones, actually had great earnings. Okay. And this one has some interesting facts about strategy. They hold 628,791 Bitcoin, accounting for 3%. 3% of the entire pot. Okay, think about it. They raised 18.3 billion in capital in just 7 months. Guess why? To buy more Bitcoin. They had one of the largest IPO launches this year. And yeah. And they had a good earnings. Good earnings. Basically, let's see what happens. Let's see if these two companies actually lift up crypto today. And also Riot, one of the biggest mining companies in this space, posted unexpected profit. So Bitcoin related or crypto related companies all did pretty well with their earnings. So that is good. That is good. Let's see what happens today. All right. And obviously AI is still very hot. Anything to do with AI, very, very hot. Yesterday, AI not so much. It took a breather. Some profit taking, a little scariness from Microsoft, I guess. But, you know, nothing's going to stop Nvidia. Nothing's going to stop OpenAI. And Jensen talks about a virtuous cycle, which is basically a cycle where it can't end anymore. As AI and these language models and assistants get more helpful, more used, guess what? The AI companies themselves are going to buy more infrastructure, and then and thus making them more useful, and more people are going to be using them. Thus, they need to beef up the infrastructure. That means it's a cycle that's never going to end now. And that's good for companies that are producing chips or the infrastructure backbone. And of course, the software companies that are developing these models, right? It's going to be an endless cycle. That's why any company that makes a deal with OpenAI or makes a deal with Nvidia, they just start skyrocketing. Nvidia became the very first company to hit 5 trillion market cap, which, you know, years ago was thought ridiculous, but now not. All right, what else? This is pretty positive. The new SEC Chair Paul Atkins says they are working to pass that market structure bill for crypto, I believe is called the Clarity Bill, even though the government shutdown exists. So they're trying to get this through the House, I believe. They already got through the Senate. It's one or the other. One of them got accepted. And basically, this makes it so that there's more clarity on what's a security, what's not, which agency, like the SEC or CFTC, governs, and also relates to exchanges as well. Okay? Because there are a lot of foreign exchanges or a lot of exchanges that are no longer able to operate in the U.S., and this might actually fix that. So, very good. Very good all around. All right, what else? ETF inflow outflow was not good yesterday, except for one. Bitcoin actually had another massive outflow day, led by BlackRock. Not sure why, but yesterday we had a 488 million outflow day. If I had to guess, it's just basically just mass panicking. A lot of times, Wall Street, just like retail investors, are very reactionary, and they just panic. When everything's falling, they're like, just sell, sell, sell. We have seen periods like this before where we see like a whole week of outflow, and then, boom, 4 weeks of inflow. So that's the only thing. And Ethereum also had a pretty big outflow day, 184 million. So Bitcoin and Ethereum had outflows, but you know who didn't have outflow is Solana. Solana's Bitwise for the third day took in almost 40 million. Grayscale took a little bit less than a million. But overall, still inflow into Solana, but not nearly at the same rate as Bitcoin or Ethereum. But it's a good start. Good start overall. All right. Now, on to today. Today is the 17th anniversary of the Bitcoin white paper release. Released October 31st by Satoshi Nakamoto. And if he is still around, I think almost everyone thinks that it's a group of people, but let's just pretend it's an individual. If he was around, he would be one of the wealthiest people on the planet due to what he's created, which is Bitcoin. Right? And then I saw something interesting. I don't know what conference these guys are at. I guess maybe it's called Future Investment Initiative. Tom Lee, who always looks like he just rolled out of bed. I mean, just look at his hair. Like, it's crazy hair day for Tom Lee all the time. But anyways, he was mentioning how he basically called out Jamie Dimon without saying his name. Let's actually listen to it. This is actually a pretty good clip. Let's get rid of the echo first. All right, got rid of echo. Let's listen to this.
Invested in Ethereum 10 years ago would be worth $500 million today. So as far as asset class performance, there is nothing even approaching the returns that have come from crypto. Yet we know that major institutions actually dismiss crypto completely. We know a major bank CEO says that he still doesn't care about Bitcoin, even though his customers want to use blockchain.
So you know who he's calling out, right? Jamie Dimon, of course. And then I saw this. I don't know if it's the same conference or not. It might be. Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink up on stage, and listen to this.
Skeptical of crypto at one point. He was still skeptical.
I've gotten away with no damage so far. Crypto is real. If you mean blockchain, stable coins, you have a JP Morgan deposit coin, you can move stuff, smart contracts are real, all that stuff is real. It will be used by all of us to facilitate, better transactions and customer service.
If anybody was skeptical.
You see, while he was talking, they show like Larry Fink over here nodding his head.
Blockchain, stable coins, you have a JP Morgan deposit.
Yeah, you see that?
Deposit coin.
It seems like Jamie Dimon admits that he was wrong about everything, except he didn't mention Bitcoin in there. That's the thing. He didn't say I was wrong about Bitcoin. He basically admitted that he was wrong about everything else, stable coins and ledgers and transferring, across ledger and all that stuff. He still doesn't mention Bitcoin. I don't think if he ever will, but it doesn't really matter. We don't need his endorsement. Okay, we don't. Paul and Tim from Australia, thank you for the super chat. And you know, Larry Fink's been in his ear saying, "Hey, you better start saying something positive, man. We own a lot of JP Morgan stock." All right. What else? Mining stocks are outperforming Bitcoin right now, valued as AI infrastructure. You know, that's an interesting thought. What if all these miners and their ASICs could be used for AI processing? That would make them pretty valuable. Very valuable, but I don't know if those machines would work. But I have heard of some mining like operations with GPUs, for example, not mining Bitcoin, but mining like they used to mine Ethereum or something like that. Those have been turned around to become AI data centers and being rented out. Like that's actually a thing that's happening. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of mining company stocks are doing very well. I didn't even know how many there are, but there are a lot. There are a lot. And I just mentioned about Riot having a really good quarter too. So good for them. Good for everyone. All right. Global Bitcoin ATM count reaches highest level since December 2022. I still don't like any of these because their spread is so big. You know, Bitcoin is at 110 right now. You go buy it, it'll say like 115. And you try to sell it, and it'll say like 100. So it's like you're getting ripped off both ways by buying it and selling it. So I still don't like it, but you know, there are a lot of people that don't care. They just want to buy some Bitcoin right away. Sure. Anthony says, if they tokenize gold on ETH, is Bitcoin worthless? No. If they tokenize... Okay, I'm not even going to try to answer that because that's a stupid question. No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to call you stupid, but it's a stupid question. Titan of Crypto posts this chart saying, hey, you got to get ready, prepare for a big move for Bitcoin, okay? Either in the up or down direction. I'm thinking it's the upside. And here's why. Okay, we have a lot of these kind of metrics and charts. Okay, a lot of them that measure Bitcoin when it becomes oversold or overbought, measures if it has peaked in a cycle. And nothing that we have like 90 something metrics or indicators, and not one of them that have said that Bitcoin has approached top. And here's another one, just looking at Bitcoin's movement throughout the last few years, and we have reached that bottom point. In fact, we haven't gotten this low on this log trend since 2023, when Bitcoin was still like 20-something thousand before it climbed up to 73,000. Right? We're as low as that right now at 110, surprisingly. We're like 4 times higher. So, this is why I think we are going to move upwards. We always do. Based on history, based on trend, based on the fundamentals, based on adoption, maturity, everything. We are going to recover, right? We just got to be patient. That's it. We got to be patient. It's not like we haven't lived through these times before. I know everyone is hoping that we have this huge, tremendous run in the next 2 months. And even though it may seem unlikely, but that's exactly what happened last year. That's exactly what happened in 2023. We have seen this time and time again. So it's not over until it's over. And even if it's over, okay, I'm not trying to downplay it, but even, let's say we're in December and we haven't had altcoin season, doesn't mean that it's not going to come anymore. there's always catalysts that drive things upwards. Like last year, November to January, we had like a mini altcoin season, and it was pretty good. It reminded me and you guys of what 2021 was like. We're going to have it. Just have to be patient. Just have to be patient. All right. Here's another thing that shows that I don't know how credible some of these whales are, because whales get liquidated left and right too. But someone just threw a 25x long on ETH. So whenever these whales make moves, people tend to think that they have insider information. I don't know, because this is only a $5 million, long. If it was like 50 million or 100 million or something, then I would say so. This seems like it's just like a general whale. What else? Zcash. A lot of people talking about Zcash going high. 8-year high. Zcash has been around for a long time. Flips Monero to become the top privacy coin. Some people have started asking me about it. What's my opinion? I don't really have one. I don't see why they have started going up, other than Ethereum started talking about, or Vitalik started talking about enabling privacy features into Ethereum. And that seems to have like jump-started it. A lot of major exchanges already delisted Zcash because of privacy features, because governments do not like the fact that they can't track transactions on a privacy chain like Zcash, right? But that may not matter. I don't know. That's kind of my thing. So I've been out of Zcash for a long, long time. But maybe with the new SEC chair, Paul Atkins, who basically claims that DeFi is not a security, maybe they won't care as much. I guess we'll see. Aster is tanking amid CZ dumping rumors. I guess someone came out and said CZ's dumping. That's why Aster keeps going down. And CZ says, no, unfollow guys posting fake news. I guess we'll never know if he's dumping or not. But what I do know is when Aster came out, it was way too hyped up. Way, way, way too hyped up. It went up to astronomical levels that it probably should not have reached. And that was thanks to CZ, that he kept posting about it. And he knew his pump power. He knows that. He's on X all the time. He definitely helped contribute it. But whether he's dumping, I don't know. Probably not. Does he have some stake in Aster? I'm sure he does. So I don't know. I got out. I told you guys I got out of Aster. It was just being manipulated way too much up, in these drastic 50% up and down climb days. I'm like, no, that's not for me. All right. And then lastly, all these ETFs that launch, guess what? Canary Capital is going to launch their XRP ETF November 13th. Although Canary Capital launched Hedera and Litecoin, and I have no idea how good they're doing. I didn't look very hard, to be honest, but I don't see on this Fairside site. But I think XRP ETF will be different. I think a lot of people will want to buy XRP ETF, just like Sol ETF. I think there will be a lot of volume to it. So could be coming very, very soon. November 13th, just a couple weeks. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Not the greatest day. You could see MicroStrategy and Coinbase up 5 something percent. But man, look at Robinhood. Robinhood up 6% today. I keep telling you guys about Robinhood, and I got my friends into it, and now they're making money left and right with these call options. So good for them. Also, you know what's good is Clash. Clash is still holding very strong, around 52 million. It was the top one hot trading pair on DEX tools. And guess what? Guess what? We launched our NFT line officially on the open market. There's going to be 4 tiers or 4 traits, I guess. Champion, legendary, epic, and rare. All the champions are already pre-sold and they're gone. Okay, they were going for above $10,000 each, in case you guys are wondering. The T2s, half of it is already gone, the legendary, and these have gone for some of it above 5,000. Now they're about 5,000, a little bit above. So if you are interested, you could pick one up now. They will be gone pretty soon. We have raised over $500,000 for the treasury. What other project is doing that right now? Zero, none. In these bad market conditions, no one else is doing it. In fact, our NFT line, just from yesterday, a few hours, we're number 4 on sales volume rankings on Solana already. Just from like a few hours. That's how crazy things are and how good the community is because they believe in this project so much. And you get a lot of benefits. You're not just buying an NFT. You're not just getting a picture. That's why they're all very much the same. There's a lot of benefits, incentives. The biggest one being Clash grants that will be vested over the next 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months. So you do the math. But a lot of people are very, very, very excited about Clash. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to build this into the greatest project there is. And the Gleam giveaway that I told you guys about, that's on our X page. There's 29 days left. There's what, 1,800 entries, 1,900 entries. Make sure you guys do this. It's easy way to win either a 5 SOL grand prize, a 1 SOL prize for 5 winners, or a T3 that's going to be valued over $1,000. And that's just for simply checking out the web page, joining our giveaway page, referring friends, joining our Discord, all these entries, and the secret code that I've been giving out for 50 entries at night while I've been playing. So very easy to get involved. Very easy to get involved. All right, let's do some Q&A. Happy Friday. Can we get George on David Lin's YouTube channel? Who's David Lin? I just did an interview yesterday. I'm open to interviews. You know, I stayed away from interviews for a while, but I'm open to it as long as we talk about Clash in some way. Who do you actually think is Satoshi? I think it's like three people. Hal Finley, Dave Kleeman, and probably Craig Wright. I know everyone hates Craig Wright, but I think he was part of it. I think he probably wrote the white paper or contributed, but he was not given the private keys. So I think it's like a 3-man group, something like that. It's the most logical. It can't be one guy. And there's people that say, well, the CIA invented it. That's just baloney. How can I buy Clash? Is there a link? Yes, it's in the description. And also, you can just go to the webpage. George Plays Clash Royale. Tells you everything there is about our giveaways, tournaments, treasury, how to buy. It tells you exactly where to go. There's a couple sexes. You could also do it on Jupiter, or you could do it on Phantom or Moonshot app. There are a lot of places. Phantom app is probably the easiest. Soulflare also, you could do it from there too. It's really, really simple. And also our giveaways, right? I've been giving away a lot of Sol just to Clash holders. And by the way, there's going to be another tournament tonight, even though it's Halloween, but we are having another big tournament tonight. A lot of prizes given to random players, to the top placers, and a lot of giveaways for spectators. I mean, every time I hold one of these tournaments, it's at least probably 4,000 or 5,000, if not more, dollars of Sol given out to everyone. Like, it's a really rewarding and fun way to get involved. So you could sign up on the tournament page. It's also in the description. And the main thing is, a lot of people have a lot of questions. Hit this Discord button on top. Our community is most active in Discord. Like literally every second, there's someone there asking questions or answering or hyping up or just getting really excited about things. Right? So we got a lot of stuff happening, guys. Am I saving up to buy something cool that only rich people could afford? Not really. Just eyeing more vacations. Yesterday I brought my Ferrari in for a service. I haven't been to the dealership for like a year, and it was nice. It was nice to talk to the guys. I guess one thing that would be considered like what rich people could afford. They have this trip where you get to race Ferraris, 296 Ferraris, at different racetracks in the US. And there's different levels, like a sport and a Corsa and a race level. And basically it's like a 2-day event where they teach you with the driver, they teach you how to race these Ferraris, and then you get to stay at a luxury 5-star hotel and get served Michelin star food while you're there, and the whole experience. The sport level is $21,000 to do, and it's only for 2 days. And then the course is like $30,000, and the race is like $40,000, which I think is ridiculous. And you could bring a friend with you. They can't really drive or anything, but they could, show support for $2,500. So that is something I'm considering of doing because I never do anything fun. So I don't know. That would be considered something a rich person does, right? Spending $20,000 to go drive a Ferrari for 2 days. ASDX. Don't worry about the market cap, okay, of the T2s, T3s, T4s. Market cap is irrelevant. Just focus on the number of tokens you're getting. That's it. Now T2s, keep in mind, you're getting a watch and you're also getting a +1 guaranteed entrance into Vegas. Those have value. T3s do not. Leave Tom Lee alone. I mean, Tom Lee, he could simply brush his hair, or he can simply cut off his hair like me. I mean, just look at that hair. That is not someone that combed his hair at all. I mean, the guy's a freaking, he's a multimillionaire for sure. He's probably a centimillionaire or a billionaire. I don't know if he's a billionaire, but there's people backstage that'll comb it. Like, he's purposely doing messy hair at this point. Carlos, never say never, but right now my only sole focus is getting Clash to $1 billion. And a lot of people think it's too late. Most meme people, they want to get into something that's like sub 5 million, sub 1 million. And they look at Clash and they're like, it's 50 million, it's too big. But 50 million to $1 billion is still 20x. and we're doing things right, legitly, right? We're not doing shady stuff, not anonymous stuff. So it's not a meme anymore. It's really a community coin. I mean, this is basically a testament. This is a testament to how strong the community is and how much they believe in the project, right? We have raised 2,521 SOL within the last week, this week. And not everyone, you know, not all T2s or T1. There's one person that's waiting to pay for T1 later today. And there are more T2s that will be sold. We will be well above 500,000 by the end of today. This is incredible. And this is without people selling off Clash. Maybe some did, but most people did not sell off their Clash in order to buy these NFTs. So we have raised not only $500,000 for the treasury, and there's more. We'll probably end up raising over $1 million, $1.5 million by the time it's all done, right? And that is going to give us a lot of options, a ton of options that no other project has. All these other community projects, they have nothing. They have no treasury. They have no marketing budget. They have no leadership. It's just a bunch of guys on X just doing, just doing tweets. They have nothing. We're going to have everything. And I'm going to talk to the DeFi Development Corp team today. We're going to do an intro chat and see if we can get them involved continuously in Clash, because they participated last week. And I'm still hoping to get some of the other KOLs to come in to play today as well. So, and every week. Aster is below $1. No recovery. No recovery in sight. Over 7,000 holders. Our NFT line is now top 5 on Sol. Do you know how incredible that is already? The Vegas party is going to be crazy. I haven't had a party in a long time. The last party I held in Vegas was, I think, 2021. So it's been 4 years. Joseph, I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. You go to this place called CryptoSlam, cryptoslam.io, and you can see all the NFT sales. This one is listed or sorted by Solana, but there's a lot. At one point, I swear we crashed Magic Eden because it was slow as hell yesterday. I actually do think it was us that did that. Even though we don't have crazy amount of volume, but still. Probably more than what they experienced in a long time. Coinbase and Robinhood. Both up 6%, almost 7% for Coinbase. This is not even updated. There's something wrong with this price. Oh, we did an outdoor one 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, that was for the IFC. Totally forgot about that. I've never experienced this sphere. I checked out the sphere on the outside when it was being built, and after it was done, it's really cool. It's huge. But I've never experienced something inside. I would actually like to do something inside just to experience it. Some of those concerts I've seen look like they're incredible. How much do I spend on Robinhood options? A lot. I have a lot. Probably in a six-figure territory. I need your advice. Shandon asks, where would you put 50K if you're buying today, low to medium risk? I can't tell you what to do. If I had 50K, okay, I'd throw it all into the Clash. No, I'm just kidding. But if I had 50K, I would put some of that into Clash because I still believe it is, according to my 50, 25, 25 rule, okay, 50% would be in Bitcoin. So 25K would be in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps. So that so 12.5K I would probably distribute it between Solana and mostly in Solana and maybe a little bit of BNB and ETH, something like that. And then the 25% remaining mid to small caps, I would look at some of the outliers. I don't know. So some of the AI plays and then some micro plays, and that would be like Clash. So something like that. And, I just feel like there's this energy. Everyone is looking forward to this. We had another $1 billion liquidation. Everyone's like really ready for Bitcoin to make this next move, right? There's this built up energy and it's going to come. I know it. I know we're just being suppressed right now in some way, some form, some fashion that we can't detect where it's coming from. It could be the miners. I've heard like miners are selling. Could be a little bit of Wall Street, but normally we could tell by looking at the ETF inflow outflows. But there's other mysterious forces at work here. And as soon as they're ready, they're going to let the market open and the floodgates will open. And that's when we make this next move up. And it's going to be glorious because everyone's waiting for it. Everyone wants it. Money is parked on the sidelines, waiting to enter. I have a bad feeling that powers that be are waiting for Powell to leave and rates to go near zero. I think that's almost a certainty, but it's going to be interesting. You know, Powell himself doesn't determine whether they cut, right? All the other governors and presidents have to vote too. But if you have a leader that's very pro-cutting, he could definitely sway opinions, right? So whoever Trump appoints next is going to be a very pro-cutting person, just like Stephen Moran. And that person, that chair, could give a lot of language. You know, Powell always gives the hawkish language tone, right? Like, you know, don't be so sure it's happening, or, you know, we don't see enough evidence. You know, like he's always hawkish. But the new chair could be very dovish. Like his tone is always geared towards helping the markets and cutting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the other governors if they just fall in line, and then we get these incredible cuts next year, which we have to be careful, right? Like I think most people want cuts because it pumps markets, yes. But if you cut too much and then we get down to zero and you can't cut anymore and the economy starts suffering, then you're really stuck. That's what you don't want. You know, the Fed's only real tool is to cut or raise rates. But if you take that away from them, there's really nothing they can do. So if they cut too fast, and let's say they cut all the way down to zero, and then the economy is still struggling, then what are they going to do? Go negative? That would be ridiculous. Who cares? World is going to hell. Just pump my bag one last time. All right, guys. Make sure you tune in tonight. Big tournament, and join in. If you're a casual player, average player to Clash Royale, hey, come on in. It's going to be fun. We always have hundreds of people playing. And you can win some prizes by doing so. And you could win just by spectating. Right? Just by being a Clash holder. Let's fetch this. Latest entries. Okay. If you haven't put in your wallet yet, you should, but you got to hold at least 2,000 Clash. You're eligible for giveaways every single day. Let's do 2 today. Not eligible. Does not have enough Clash. Let's do 3. Wow, this guy has 200,000. So a 2x multiplier, wins 0.4 SOL. Congrats. And this guy got a 1.5x multiplier, 100,000 Clash. These are hardcore Clash believers. Here's another one, 33,409 Clash, 1.5 multiplier. There you go. Congrats. Congrats. I'll be sending these shortly. All right, guys. Have a good one. Check out the NFT line if you are interested. If you want to learn more about the benefits of having these NFTs, not just because you're buying a picture. There are a lot of redeemable benefits that are really good. If you want to learn about it, join our Discord. Otherwise, I'll either see you guys tonight or on Saturday or Sunday. All right. Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Have a good one. Take care.